Oh my God, I'm alive! Hooray! I live another day to scam old people and sell dinosaurs. My name is Nate.
My name is Mike.
And what the hell was that?
What the hell was that?
What the hell was that indeed? This movie, no skirting around the issue, was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, kind of terrible, really.
This was an interesting movie for us to view, for you to get some what the hell was that lore. So, you know, we've talked before about how Cruella was kind of like the origin story of this podcast in a way. But this is like the more ancient story, I guess.
Proto-origin.
Yeah, I think that's a better way to put it. I remember I was I didn't work at the movie theater that I've mentioned that I worked at before. I didn't work there anymore, but I still had some friends who worked there. And so one day I came by and I was hanging out with those friends, and they let me go and see a movie for free. It was very late at night, and nobody was in the theater. So I decided to see Jurassic World 2. I was the only one in that theater, and boy, howdy, that movie sucked ass. So much so that I came home, and my Mike and our friend Rose were roommates of mine at the time. We were all living in the same house. And I came home to my roommates, and I proceeded to explain the mind-numbing plot of this movie. And they got a good kick out of it. So that kind of planted the seed in my head of wanting to explain the plots of movies poorly. So here we are. This is a fun movie to...
And boy, did you explain it poorly that day.
Oh, I sure did. Yeah, so this movie has kind of always been in the back of my mind because it was kind of the antithesis of like what a good movie should be. So here we are. We've watched that movie, for me the second time, and I got to say, I think I might have said this to Rose and maybe even you after the movie. Part of me was like, when we decided to watch the movie, it was like, I've kind of hyped this up as like a really bad movie. I really hope this movie isn't good, because otherwise I'm going to feel like kind of a fool. But rest assured, listener, that was not the case. This movie blows.
Just as bad as you said.
Yeah, if not worse, actually.
Yeah, I don't care for Ron Howard's child.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I might have seen her in. I genuinely think the only thing that I have seen her in is the other Jurassic World movie that... the first one, and I'm pretty sure she was in an episode of Black Mirror, and I don't want to say that
Which
episode
one?
was... What was that?
Which one?
It was like kind of like the social credit score one.
Oh,
I
is that
think.
her?
I'm pretty sure.
I liked her in that.
Yeah, I mean, that's not my favorite Black Mirror episode, but it's fine. So I'll give her a 1 out of 2 as far as good to bad movies.
Sure.
You know?
It was just so hammy in this film.
Yeah.
So hammy.
But to be fair, though, I feel like just the nature of the Jurassic World movies, to my knowledge, it's just like they want hammy, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there's a director who's like, now I'm not really convinced you're really scared of that dinosaur.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Or that you really love that raptor.
No, you have to. You have a connection to this raptor. I need to see that. Show me the bond.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I don't know. Maybe she's a shitty actress, but I don't know.
No. I didn't know that was her in the... No. That's it, baby. I don't know. We'll have to see more, I guess.
I suppose we will. When we go see Jurassic World 3.
Electric Boogaloo.
I think that one's Dominion or something like that. I saw a tweet the other day that I thought was kind of funny relating to Jurassic World.
Was it?
It's just this concept, and this honestly says less about Jurassic World and more about the state of releasing new movies into the world.
Okay.
It was just the sentiment,
wild.
just the sentiment that the Jurassic World marketing leaned really heavily into the only in theaters for it to be on whatever streaming service it is now, like 3 weeks after it was released in theaters.
Right.
So,
Well, you have to pretend.
yeah.
From what I understand, the new one is really just god awful too.
I mean, probably, yeah.
like all-time low.
Yeah.
Which says a lot since we just watched this one.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing, is the first one, I remember, like, it was a big deal because it was, like, the reboot of the franchise.
Right.
And so everyone and their mother was talking about it. And I remember a bunch of my friends and I went and saw it. And frankly, I don't remember what I thought of the movie because I went with, my high school friends, and we probably just dicked around in the back of the theater throughout the whole movie. So I had a blast watching it, but that probably had more to say with me being an asshole to the other theater goers than my enjoyment of the actual film itself. And the second one, I didn't even necessarily really want to see it, but it was at a point in my life where, like, I've always just really liked going to the movies, but at that point in particular, it was like, I like to see, like, everything that comes out in the theater, so I subjected myself to that abject horror.
I'm sorry there was ever a point in your life where the answer seemed like Jurassic World 2.
Yeah, me too. But that's the thing, though, is and why I kind of went on this tangent is because I've grown as a person. Because I don't want to see Jurassic World 3. I just don't care.
Well, I'm in one sense happy for you, but in another sense sorry that movies have done this to you.
Yeah, I don't know how to respond other than yep.
I feel like a childhood wonder has been lost here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to see a movie tonight, and I'm still pretty excited for it.
Oh, yeah, I'm
so,
stoked, yeah.
Hopefully, Hollywood can put out nominally good movies at the very least.
Yeah, I'm sure it can.
Yeah. But, well, I was explaining this to our extended cut listeners, plugging our Patreon that we haven't made yet. Maybe by the time I put this out,
You'll
I'll
have
made it.
one?
We'll see.
Wow.
But this episode is going to be a little interesting for us because, as you might know if you listen to any other of our episodes, we typically watch a movie.
Yes.
And then we, more or less immediately after, do this podcast. Which, as I say that, actually, the last, 3 or 4 episodes, we haven't done that. We've watched a movie and we'll be like, we'll come back and record this.
Right.
So, who knows how true that sentiment really is anymore. But, anyway, all the same, in those events, we usually have done, the next day or something. This time, a whole entire week has passed by. And I don't know about you, but I had a very exhausting weekend at that. This is a Sunday we're recording on. So we'll see just how much of this plot we retained and how well we can actually summarize this thing.
Well, you've seen it twice.
I have.
In a 3-year period, but, twice, all the same.
I certainly have. And with that, you want to hop into it, my friend?
Yeah, let's try. For whatever energy I can muster for this abomination of a plot.
Yeah. How does it start? Oh,
I feel like it's Jeff Goldblum, maybe?
I think actually even before that.
Or is it new stuff?
Even before that, I think. So I believe the movie opens up with, what was the new Jurassic Park from the Jurassic World movie, the first one, I should specify.
It just seemed like it was a research crew or some scientist folk that were in there for whatever. They looked scavengers. They seemed like scavengers to me, I guess.
I
more
suppose
than
that
anything.
could be it. Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
we got the people in the sub on the bottom, and they're like, ooh, there's a tasty sample. And they, cut out a rib section of something and send it up to a plane of, the Indominus Rex. I think they're, the people working on behalf of the splicers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, it seems like they're just getting the DNA for the splicing.
Okay, yeah, no,
Is that right?
That sounds right to me.
God, I hate having to relive this and retell it. They go in there, and they get the rib bone, and then, the partners, and then, the dude on the other line of the communication is like, all right, you've got the rib bone, now, give me 2 tugs and come on out. and then it's like, Reed, do you come in? And it's like, and then behind them, there's a big alligator thing that just swallows them whole.
Yeah.
And he's like, come in, submarine, come in. They're just getting nothing. And he's like, oh, I can't get a read on submarine. But then the helicopter people are like, oh, my God, return to us now. And he's like, why should I return to you now? And they're like, right behind you in the tree line, a big dinosaur.
Whoa!
So he tries to run.
Yeah, he climbs up the rope ladder. That
they throw out a rope ladder.
And like the dinosaur or the T-Rex or whatever it is catches the end of the rope. So he's like trying to climb up the rope while the helicopter is now being prohibited from getting away because the dinosaur is like holding it like a leash or whatever you want to call it. And so then the people on the helicopter make the hard call, and they're like, all right, we're just going to have to cut the rope. Sucks for this guy, but, the trolley problem,
Yeah, sure.
So essentially they do the trolley problem, and they're like, all right, we're doing the right thing here.
Yeah, we got to cut
the rope. And so they start cutting it, and then for whatever reason or something, the rope snaps, not where they're cutting it, but at a certain point where the dinosaur is no longer keeping the helicopter back, and the dude is saved, which, as I noted, would make for a really awkward fly back home.
Right.
But thankfully, they don't have to worry about that, because almost immediately when they fly over the open water, this alligator dinosaur thing jumps up and snaps the man on the ladder.
Yep.
But the rest of them, as far as we know, make it away home.
Yes,
so.
they get back with the rib bone of the Indominus Rex and all that jazz.
And then we get a nice idea of what's going on in the world as far as Jurassic World is concerned. And it's more or less just politicians that are like, let them die. And then you have your protesters that are like, hey, ho, ho, the dinosaurs deserve to go and live their lives.
Right.
Yeah.
Ho, ho, hey, the dinosaurs deserve to stay. Ho, ho.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
Well, I guess no, because they. Well, actually, no. I think the dinosaurs deserve to go is a more accurate chant because, specifically, I think what the problem at hand is that the island that Jurassic Park is located on.
Jurassic World.
Actually, well, that's the thing. Is it like? I don't remember. Obviously, the movie's called Jurassic World, but is the park itself still called Jurassic Park, or is it called Jurassic World?
No idea.
I don't know. All the same, I'm going to use them interchangeably. Yeah, so the island in which these dinosaurs and the former Jurassic Park are located is on a active volcano.
Right.
And the volcano is about to, do its thing. And so, basically, the politicians and the opposers of the dinosaurs are more or less like, well, the fact that these dinosaurs exist is an affront to God, and this is nature correcting itself. What are you going to do? And then everybody else is like, they're living creatures. We can't just let them die again.
Right.
And so I think that's the big debate going on.
Yes.
And then we see Jeff Goldblum in the hearing court thing, and it's you see, the thing is that. And he does his Jeff Goldblum.
Basically,
thing.
he's like, really, we can't go back. He's like, look, they could all die in this volcano thing, or we could save them all. But the point is, they're here. No matter what, we've already done the thing where we've brought dinosaurs back, and so we're just living in that reality now. So we best learn how to try to handle that fact.
Yeah, exactly. And so then after hearing that, Congress is more or less like, well, we've decided to do what, as far as official record indicates, the U.S. does, nothing at all. Except, unlike the real world, the U.S. doesn't do any secret thing where they actually do something.
Yeah.
They actually do nothing.
Yeah, they're actually we're not touching this one.
We're actually going to remain neutral here and not side with either the volcano or the dinosaurs.
Right.
And so, with that...
that'll show the powerful volcano lobby.
Exactly. Yeah, they can't lose the funding. Then we have, I don't know the character's name, but Bryce Dallas Howard. She is I guess seeing this on the news and is like,
yes.
dinosaurs dying. No.
Yeah.
And so then I guess she goes to like the mansion of I forget his name. It's not like John Hammond, the dude who made Jurassic Park, but it's just like his buddy who like helped make Jurassic Park
Right.
or something.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what his role was, but
He helped make Jurassic Park.
yeah, that's fair. I guess I did answer that. And yeah, so he's old and dying in his mansion, and he has this like dude who is like managing his affairs in some capacity.
Yes. Yeah.
And
He's
so
like accountant or whatever.
yeah,
Financial advisor.
yeah, it's probably something that's accurate to it. And so basically, that's going on, and Bryce Dallas Howard like pulls up to basically, I guess, say to co-creator of Jurassic Park, like, "Hey, the dinosaurs are gonna die, and we can't let that happen. What can we do?"
Right.
But I guess while she goes there to speak to the old man, the financial counselor dude is like, he can't talk right now, but you can talk to me.
I guess they know each other from something in the past. Cause he's
Yeah,
like,
there
I'm
was some
surprised
indication
you
of that.
remember me. And she's like, how could I forget you? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I think it's a great idea for you to go to this island and try to rescue some of the dinosaurs. We have some people or something that are over there, and we're going to send you to meet up with them to get the dinosaurs off the island or something. I kind of glazed over at this part.
Yeah, me too, actually, to be completely honest. But not really important. But really what you need to take away from this is she meets this dude, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm taking care of the affairs of that old dude. I'm sure the dinosaurs will be fine."
And yeah, right. And also go to the island.
Yeah. Also, by the way, here's the granddaughter of that dude. But you don't need to worry about that for any reason. So I don't even know why I brought it up. Bye.
Now, is she like John Hammond's granddaughter or like the partner's granddaughter?
She is the partner's
I see.
granddaughter.
Yes, good.
Well, the partner's granddaughter.
Yes.
We'll save that little tidbit for later.
Like we even need to.
So then she basically tracks down Chris Pratt, who, if you have not seen or are unfamiliar with the prior Jurassic World movie, Chris Pratt is like a badass velociraptor wrangler and trainer. And he has, since the collapse of Jurassic Park, started to live a quiet life in the mountains somewhere.
He read
He's
Walden.
building a cabin.
Yeah.
He what?
He read Walden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Henry David Thoreau wrote a book where he went out into the woods for 2 years and built a cabin and wrote a book about it.
Oh, okay.
And so, you read that and basically you go live in the woods for 2 years and build a cabin.
That sounds about like Chris Pratt.
That's
in this
what he's
movie.
doing, yeah.
And so, so he's doing that, and she comes up and she's like, "Chris Pratt, we have to go back to Jurassic Park." And he's like, "I'm not going back to Jurassic Park. I have my cabin to build." And she's like, "But what about the Velociraptor?" And then he like more or less just like he's about to like hit like a nail in with a hammer, but he just like stops at the like here mention of Velociraptor, and then he's like, "Damn you, woman!
Yeah,
you know how to pull me back in."
All right.
And
God.
that's the gist of that.
Fuck that.
And yeah, so then they gather with whatever like research team or whatever that somehow got assembled. Again, it's not even clear like why these people are together. I guess it was something to do with like the financial advisor dude trying to take care of affairs or whatever for John Hammond's partner buddy. And so then they all arrive on Jurassic Park. And as they arrive to Jurassic Park, they're introduced to like this military dude who is like manning the dinosaur saving operation. And yeah, so he's like, "All right, civvies, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and blah 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 blah. Watch your six."
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, and they're all like, "Okay." We're introduced to like our secondary cast, which is more or less two characters. There's like nerdy computer scientist dude or something to that effect.
Yep.
And he is just so hilarious.
Yeah, whatever.
And then you have like girl boss, like veterinarian slash
I was gonna
doctor
say that
medic.
at first too, but like I don't feel the girl bossiness from her.
Not in the same way you do Corella.
True, but I don't know. It just I was cool with how she was written. She didn't seem.
Yeah.
I mean, she definitely has the lines of somebody who's like that kind of way, but like I don't know, the actress didn't come off that kind of way, so that was pretty cool.
No, yeah, I think that's a fair thing to say. I think on a spectrum, she is much more of a actual strongly written female character as opposed to the other end of the spectrum being corporate Hollywood girl boss.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
But yeah, that's our crew. In addition to, of course, Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt.
The funny fella
Mm-hmm.
is like the computer guy.
Yeah.
And the girl is like the dinosaur medic. And that's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. And so then they all get into the military vehicles and they start going around the island and stuff. And I think we kind of just skimmed over this, but I think Chris Pratt specifically, like his job in particular, is to find these velociraptors that he so cares about. Like he's not just coming along for like, I want to help the dinosaurs. Like he's specifically there to help the military people who are trying to save the dinosaurs find the velociraptors.
Right.
So I guess their primary goal at this point is to go do that. And so they're attempting to do that. And they start traveling. They see a dinosaur. Whoa.
Oh, right. Yeah,
and
yes.
Then they get to some kind of like old facility of Jurassic Park. And they have the computer dude hack into the mainframe and get them in there. To which then like Bryce Dallas Howard and computer dude stay there and do stuff on the computers or something, while the rest of the crew are like, all right, time to go get those velociraptors.
Yep.
So they do that. They go to get those velociraptors. And maybe they do other stuff in the meantime, but frankly, I don't care. And so
right.
they travel, and eventually, wouldn't you know it, they find a velociraptor. And not just any velociraptor, but specifically like the leader of the velociraptor pack that Chris Pratt has the super special bond with.
Right.
And I think we even have like, no, I was going to say we have flashbacks, but that's not right. I'm pretty sure like Bryce Dallas Howard is like, let me look in this computer. And then we see like Chris Pratt log of day 1 of training the velociraptors.
Right.
They hate me. And then like day 100 of training the velociraptors.
Yes.
Look at us. We're buddies. And watch me specifically give it this piece of meat, and it is cool with me.
Right.
And so we are with our characters that are with that said velociraptor. And Chris Pratt is like holding the piece of meat, and he's like, whoa, girl, you know me. Oh, boy. And the velociraptor is not being very responsive. It's kind of eyeing him up, like maybe it might eat him.
Right.
And yeah, so Chris Pratt tries to do his meat trick, and the dinosaur just doesn't do it.
Right.
And then he kind of like, he might honestly even just say like, oh crap, but all the same, that energy.
And then you see like a gleam of recognition in the Velociraptor's eye, and then like right when Chris Pratt and the Velociraptor like start to build that connection, like a tranq dart comes out of nowhere and like stabs the Velociraptor, and Chris Pratt is like, the fuck, and then like all the military people like rush in and like start pointing guns and stuff like that.
Ready to start spraying and praying, and then the Velociraptor just like starts to maul a dude. To which also like the military dude is like, don't shoot it, and this guy's just like, oh god. And so then that dude trying to save his own life pulls out his gun and shoots the Velociraptor like in the stomach. To which Chris Pratt and the dinosaur medic is like, no, and then military dude's like, god damn it. And yeah, so then military dude is like, "All right, you medic, fix the dinosaur," and then Chris Pratt again is like, "What the fuck, man?" And he's like, "Shut up, Velociraptor man. This is a military man's job."
Right.
After the whole Velociraptor debacle,
Right.
the military dude tranquilizes Chris Pratt.
Oh, right. Yes.
And so Chris Pratt
Yes.
then is tranquilized on the ground, and then the
wakes
volcano
up.
starts to erupt,
Yeah.
and he regains consciousness slowly but surely, and boy is it funny. And he is
Whatever.
just barely avoiding being eaten up by the lava.
Yep.
And yeah, so then he starts running through the dinosaur-ridden jungle. Bryce Dallas Howard and Computer Dude are hanging out, and all the while a dinosaur has made its way into the compound.
Yeah.
And they're like, uh-oh. So then they have to avoid the dinosaur.
Jesus Christ.
But thankfully, there's lava pouring down through the ceiling because,
Right.
as we mentioned, the volcano is
It's
erupting.
erupting, yeah.
And so, yeah, so then they just barely make it away from this dinosaur.
Yep.
And they get out, and they're like, whew, boy, I'm glad we made it out away from that dinosaur. And then Chris Pratt is just running by, and he's like, run!
Yeah, right,
And then,
right.
like, a stampede of dinosaurs comes by.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they start running from the ensuing explosion.
And they find a circle car.
Yeah, which, again, I remember being, like, a pretty big thing in the first movie.
Well, there you go.
And yeah, so then they like attempt to get into that because there's like rhinoceroses or some other. They're not rhinos aren't dinosaurs. They're not
That is
dinosaurs.
true. Rhinos are not dinosaurs.
But triceratopses, I should say. They are. I don't know why
It's
I
like
phrased that like a
rhinos
question.
and
I
some
know that
giraffes
rhinoceros.
running by.
I know that rhinoceroses are not
Got some
dinosaurs. I don't know
zebras.
why I phrased that like it was a question. But yeah, so there are triceratopses doing their thing despite the
Rhinoceros
volcanic-
running by.
Yeah, aside from the or despite the volcanic eruption that's going on. So for safety, they get into this spherical car, and like before Chris Pratt gets a chance to hop in, it closes, and
Yeah.
so he is outside of this car,
Right.
and yeah, they're trying their best to not get eaten by a like not T-Rex but T-Rex-esque dinosaur. I don't know dinosaurs very well. Different type of autistic, and they escape that dinosaur, and then the T-Rex comes and fights that dinosaur, and it's super awesome.
Or whatever.
And yeah, then they are rolling out of control in their spherical car
Yeah.
and go off a cliff, which many dinosaurs fall off of as well,
Yes, it's
because
true.
they're escaping the explosion. And then Chris Pratt jumps off this cliff too, and they all land in the water, except the people in the spherical car, being Computer Man and Bryce Dallas Howard, are now going to drown because the spherical car has sprung leaks.
Yep.
And yeah, so they're doing their best to get out, and all the while Chris Pratt he keeps like swimming down
Yeah.
and like
Presenting
playing
different
charades with
tools.
them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Which by the
He'll
way, if you
come
ever
down.
find yourself in a submerging car, you have to let the car fill up with water and then open up the door because
Yeah, but they couldn't do
the
that. 'cause
pressure
the
difference.
The circle cars don't have that ability.
You don't know.
They didn't seem to have that ability in the movie.
Yeah, well they're panicking. They don't understand.
Okay, that's fair.
Well,
Chris
if you
Pratt-
ever find yourself in a spherical car, Mike, that's what you
Right.
should do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I shouldn't-
Yeah, so to no one's surprise, they make it out. Hooray. And
Right.
then they have to like sneak their way back to the like port because the military dude thinks Chris Pratt's dead or something.
Right.
And all the while Chris Pratt's like, "Oh, the military dude betrayed me."
Yeah.
And also, I learned through some way or another, maybe he told me, I don't remember, that that they're not here to really save the dinosaurs because of humanitarian efforts. they're saving the dinosaurs to sell to the highest bidder.
Yes, right. They're gonna auction off the dinosaurs.
Yeah. They make it to the port, and then the island is still like exploding and all. So that causes enough of a kerfuffle that they're able to essentially steal a car and then like drive onto the like floating away boat.
Right.
And they just barely make it. And yeah, then they're on the boat.
Then we
That's
get to
taking
watch
all
a
the
brontosaurus die.
No. Yeah, they really linger on this dinosaur dying.
Yes, they do. And Bryce Dallas Howard has a very emotional moment to it.
Yeah, she probably cries.
Huh?
She probably cries.
Probably.
Yeah. They rest up, I guess, and then they decide to go incognito mode and go around the cabin.
Yep.
So yeah, so basically they like are going around like the hull of the ship or whatever you would call this part of the ship, where all these dinosaurs are like being held in cages and stuff, and they stumble upon the medic lady. And she's like, guys, I thought you were all dead. I'm so glad you're not. But this velociraptor is dying. So I'm going to need your help to save it. And they're like, all right, what do we do? And they're like, all right, well, I can get this bullet out or whatever or something like that. But we're definitely going to need to do like a blood transfusion on this thing. And they're like, all right, cool. Let's do that. She's like, but because it's this type of dinosaur, it needs to have it needs to have blood from a similar enough dinosaur. And the only one similar enough is the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Right.
And so then they all go, oh, brother. And then they being Bryce Dallas Howard. And I have to exert so much mental effort every time I say that name. But it's her and
BDH.
and Chris Pratt. BDH. BDH and Chris Pratt sneak their way into the cage that has the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it's snoozing pretty heavily.
Yep.
And so then they attempt to start the transfusion, but the dinosaur just keeps moving its head every once in a while, shifting its position, getting nice and comfy, and boy, is it funny, because Chris Pratt is getting snot from dinosaurs all over him and is getting pinned up against the wall, and man, laugh riot. But yeah, so basically they do their thing, and Bryce Dallas Howard jabs the dinosaur to get the blood. And then like, I guess right as she does that, or as she's doing it or something, the dinosaur wakes up and is trying to kill them. But, there's not a lot of space, so they still kind of have the upper hand in this cage. And, also, I guess they intended to leave the door open.
Right.
But some, like, guard is like, oh, I guess this door's open. Let me just close it real quick and lock them in the cage.
Right.
But Bryce Dallas Howard, being the astute observer that she is, notices that the bars at the top of the cage, while small enough to keep the head of a Tyrannosaurus Rex in this cage, it is large enough to get the bodies of one BDH and Chris Pratt out of said cage. So they do that. They get out of the cage, and they've successfully gotten their dinosaur blood, and they bring the dinosaur blood to the medic, who starts a transfusion, saving the life of this velociraptor.
Yep.
And so then they're doing that, and then a military dude just like opens the curtain and is like, how's that dinosaur healing coming along? And everybody who is not the medic is like hiding strategically so that he cannot see them.
Right.
And she's like, oh, it's going well. And he's like, well, I should come in and take a look. She's like, no, you don't need to do that. And he's like, okay, I guess I won't. And then he leaves.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, in typical hilarious computer guy fashion, he gets discovered by the guards, but he quickly is like, I was looking for this because I'm a guard. They're like, oh, okay, well, why didn't you say so? Come with us, buddy.
Right.
And so then he's becoming assimilated into the guards.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Yeah. So then they make it back to mainland, where these dinosaurs start getting unloaded into the mansion of John Hammond's partner, and dispersed through the movie at no particular noteworthy point. It's just various scenes of like the granddaughter of John Hammond being like, John Hammond, or not John, no, this isn't John. The granddaughter of John Hammond's partner is like, Grandpa, I love you, and other things a child might say to their grandfather. And he's like, I love you too. You remind me so much of your mother, who died in a horrible car accident. And that's the end of that story, so don't go snooping into it any further, you hear? And she's like, okay, Grandpa. And then also you occasionally get glimpses of financial advisor dude to Grandpa, who's like, ha ha ha, I'm evil, and my plan is going so well, and that old idiot will never know.
Right.
And then he's like, wait, did you hear that, small child? Okay, you're locked in your room now. Goodbye. And, yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily how that goes down, but I'm willing to say that that's how that goes down.
I mean, if you want to go into any more specific details, by all means.
Well, like, he's, like, kind of pontificating about his evil schemes.
Uh-huh.
And the child kind of follows him down into a lab where there's, like, this lab fella being like, I've spliced the DNA of the two dinosaurs you've asked me to splice, but, like, I need more time or more DNA or some shit like that. And then, like, the financial advisor is like, let me talk about our plan more explicitly to you to emphasize the importance of it. And the little girl hears all this, and so she's in this underground lab that's hidden within, like, the old guy's mansion, unbeknownst to him. And she's wandering around the halls, and eventually, like, backs into, like, a cage where there's, like, the experimental dinosaur they're working on. And, it scares her, so she shouts. So the financial advisor finds her in the underground lab and is like, oh, no, you've discovered my secret. Time to lock you in a room upstairs, like Cinderella style.
Yeah. And so I guess while the dinosaurs are being unloaded into the underground bunker thing, she, being the smart child that she is, like climbs out the window or something and like goes along the ledge, Assassin's Creed style, and goes to her grandfather's room, and she's going to be like, Grandpa, your financial advisor created an underground bunker underneath the mansion and is trying to sell dinosaurs to the highest bidder.
Yes.
But when she goes to do that, she finds that the grandfather is dead, and the financial advisor smothered him. So then she has a silent cry, and like goes into the what the fuck did Rose call it? The like
laundry chute.
Well, it's not a laundry chute. It's called like a
dumbwaiter.
Dumbwaiter. It's like butler something.
Yeah. What is it? Idiot
stupid butler.
Stupid butler. She goes to the
she goes to the stupid butler.
Stupid butler.
Yeah, she goes to the dumbwaiter. And what is it called? I won't be able to say it without laughing now. But yeah, so
I have to assume it's the same reason like dumbbells are called dumbbells, but something about like. Oh, wait.
Different time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stupid butler.
Yeah, now the PC culture, you couldn't call someone a dumb waiter anymore. The woke left took that from us. But yes.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Oh, I love that video. But yeah, so anyway, so she gets in the dumbwaiter and escapes from her Cinderella room and her dead grandfather's room. And meanwhile, the crew has been discovered, and they get thrown into a cage with the dinosaurs. I don't remember how they get discovered, but they do, and they're in a cage. You seem confused.
I mean, you're right, but yeah, whatever. Yes.
Yeah, no, so they're in a cage, and then evil financial advisor dude comes out, and he's like, oh, BDH, I really thought we could have had something special. I'm so sorry it has to end like this. And then Chris Pratt like grabs his arm and is like gonna break it. But then military dude's also there and is like, "I wouldn't do that, champ." And and then BDH is like, "Just let him go, Chris." And then so he does. And then BDH is like, "But you should put your arm through for me."
Yeah,
and then
right.
he does it, and then she like hits his head.
Ah!
And then he's like, "Oh, you're gonna regret that." Ooh.
Yeah,
And then
right.
he walks away.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So then they're locked in their cage, and then the dinosaur bidding commences, and at some point as well, we are privy to the knowledge that in addition to collecting these dinosaurs to sell to the highest bidder, there has been a I would say even more primary goal to this, which is to collect the DNA from certain dinosaurs to make yet another, from the first movie I think is when the first one happened, but yet another genetically modified super dinosaur. And this one, well, the Indominus Rex, as we mentioned from the first movie, was like super awesome T-Rex. This one is supposed to be a super awesome Velociraptor, which
Right.
is why the Velociraptor that Chris Pratt trained is so important to this whole equation. So, yeah, so that's been going on as well. And they're, like, actively working on the dinosaur, but they, like, have, like, a prototype, essentially, who's, like, not finished, but it's a living, breathing dinosaur.
Yeah, like kind of vaguely, the way it's described is that like they have the DNA to make the dinosaur,
Uh-huh.
but all of the pieces that make it trainable, as in like having loyalty to like a trainer and empathy for that trainer, like that's not quite there yet. So they can't like make them the way they want to make them yet because like they're good killing machines, but they can't be trained. They'll just kill everything.
Yeah.
So they need the special Velociraptor DNA to teach it to be trained.
Precisely.
Yes.
But but the main takeaway though is that there is essentially this like prototype actual dinosaur that has like all of the necessary features aside from the listen to people one.
Right.
And it's hanging out there. So anyway, yeah, so they're doing the dinosaur auction, and you know, like Germany and Russia are like, "Yes, we'll take this one for da 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 da." And
Yeah.
and then meanwhile, Chris Pratt is like, "Wait a second. There's a dinosaur that looks like the Pokemon Craniados."
It really does look just like Cranidos, yeah.
In the cell over. I'm going to do my dinosaur wrangling magic and make him break down the wall.
Yeah.
And he does exactly that. And then they get out of the cage. Hooray!
Yeah.
Yep. And so yeah, so then they're like, "We got to go stop that dinosaur auction." So they so then they go to try to stop the dinosaur auction, and they like peek their head into the like auction house, and at this point in time, the auctioneer is like, "And this next one is the insert name of genetically modified Velociraptor. This one will be able to do all the cool things that Mike said it will be able to do. It's not for sale right now, though, because it's not finished." And then Russia is just like, "We'll take it right now for $70 bajillion."
Right.
And then auctioneer like looks at financial advisor dude, who's just like, okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so then they start doing the bidding war for the unfinished Velociraptor dinosaur. And then I guess then this is when like Chris Pratt and BDH like bust in and are like, "All right, you cut it out." And then a big battle breaks out while the Craniados dinosaur starts just like giving people concussions.
Yep.
Yeah. So then everybody either gets trampled by a dinosaur or gets out. And
And
what happened?
BDH and Chris Pratt pick up the granddaughter at some point.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I
Somehow.
think they do that before they go into here or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that happens, and basically then I think financial advisor dude's like, get the experimental dinosaur out of here, and then Chris Pratt's like, don't get it out of here, and then he like stops it from, so it's like still in the cage in this room as opposed to wherever else financial advisor dude was sending it to.
Right.
And so yeah, so then everybody like vacates this room one way or another, and Chris Pratt and BDH and the granddaughter are like making their escape, I guess, and then they're like, no, that's not quite right. I'm trying to think of the order of operations here. So I know we have like the big kerfuffle, and then
exponents.
So they leave here. They leave this room and they're, I don't know, trying to get the other dinosaurs out or something like that, and then military dude takes this opportunity to sneak into the cage that has the Velociraptor hybrid dinosaur.
Yeah.
Because he has
a fetish.
Yeah, like a thing
teeth
that we haven't mentioned where he like just snags a tooth from all these different dinosaurs and like has like a serial killer-esque like talisman of all of these teeth
dinosaur
that he's
teeth. Yeah.
And so he's like, ooh, you'll make a fine addition to my collection. And unsurprisingly, the dinosaur does not consent to that, and instead eats him, or at least eats his arm, and then
mauls him viciously.
Yeah. And I think like so that happens, and there's like a group of like oligarchs and rich people who are like hiding in the elevator.
Yeah.
And then the auctioneer dude is like joining them in the elevator.
Right.
And they like just barely make it away from the Velociraptor who's about to eat them.
Right.
Then they like hit a button or something that makes the door open, and then they all die.
Right.
And that actually, I'm gonna side note here, because that's one of the things that really fucking sucks about this movie, is that like, you know, you watch like Jurassic World or Jurassic Park like 1 or 2 or some shit, and like you see like 2 T-Rexes like grabbing opposite ends of a dude and ripping him in half.
Yeah,
you
right.
know? And this you just get like a dude screaming and then cut to black.
Yeah, it's really tame.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like the one thing that could make this movie like even remotely enjoyable, like there's so little of it.
You're right.
But yeah, bada bing, bada boom. This dinosaur is killing people. Chris Pratt, BDH, and granddaughter are running around trying to get out of the compound or something like that, and they're intercepted by security guards and financial advisor. And he's like, ho, 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 I've got you now. But then the Velociraptor comes out again and kills the guards. And then they all run.
Yep.
And the Velociraptor, I guess, decides to go after BDH, Chris Pratt, and the granddaughter. And they run. And they have great scenes where they hide from the dinosaur, and the dinosaur chases them.
Yeah.
But they get away, and it's so riveting. And yeah, and then meanwhile, Computer Dude and Dinosaur Medic have like made their way into like some lab that I guess is like the place where they're actively working on the Velociraptor dinosaur, and they like destroy stuff or something like that, and then the guards try to kill them, but they're really bad at it, so they like shoot a tank that has gas in it or something,
Right.
and that explodes.
Right.
And I think actually also the Velociraptor Blue, who was Chris Pratt's buddy in the first movie, and the Velociraptor that had been saved like comes to the rescue, and there's a cool explosion where he like jumps through the window. But yeah, so they make it out. Hooray! Time to try to meet up with the rest of the gang. And I'm sure this gas that we mentioned won't come up again. Yeah, so then they do all that, and boy, so many cool scenes of this dinosaur trying to kill them and not doing a very good job. They make their way onto the roof somehow.
Yep. Yeah, it's like a
there's
greenhouse
like a skylight
thing.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
right.
And Chris Pratt's like standing on it, and he has BDH and the grandchild like off of the skylight for safety reasons, and he's like trying to get the hybrid velociraptor to come after him.
Right.
And he's like, "Come here, come after me!" But the velociraptor is like smart enough to like notice that the glass is breaking, and he's like, "I'm not gonna do that. That's dumb." But and they have this whole plan with the like special technology that makes you that makes the dinosaur target stuff. It's so dumb. It's not even worth getting into, and I'm not gonna. But anyway, they're trying their best to make this thing attack Chris Pratt, and it's just not working. And right when it looks like all hope is lost, the velociraptor, the actual velociraptor, comes and attacks the thing, and they duke it out. And what do you know? The thing breaks, and then the dinosaur gets impaled on a skeleton.
I forgot that's what happens, but yeah.
And at some point, the little girl is like, "Wait a second, I don't think that's my grandfather.
Right.
I think that's my father, and I am a clone of his daughter, who is supposedly my mother." Huh.
Yeah, at some point, like either the financial whatever guy or something, like they're at an impasse, and
you're not even a real person.
Yeah, he's just kind of like he never had a granddaughter. He like cloned his daughter. That's you, and it's like what? Anyway, so that's part of the movie now.
Yeah. So
this little girl isn't a granddaughter; she's a clone of a man's daughter.
Yeah, and yeah. So she says that, and then they all reconvene in this like outlook kind of thing that has a nice view of all the dinosaurs in their cages, and they hit the button and release the dinosaurs. So they're all out of their cages, but they're still behind this like steel wall that is keeping them from going into the outside world.
Right.
And they're like, "Yay, we did it!" But then there's poisonous gas that is seeping in through or into the room where all the dinosaurs are,
like the
because
containment
of
area.
the prior explosion. And I guess basically they're like, "Oh, the ventilation system would normally take care of that, but it's broken because of this." So yeah. So the dinosaurs are going to die unless we decide to hit this button, which will release them into the world. And so then they have, like, again, a trolley car problem where they're like, this room full of dinosaurs or the entire modern ecosystem.
Right.
And so then they flip-flop back and forth on that, and Bryce Dallas Howard is, like, the one who's, like, got her hand hovering above the, like, release dinosaur button. And she's like, I just can't do it. I know I tried everything to save these dinosaurs, but I just can't do it. And then they all, like, they're all bummed out, but they understand. And they all just kind of, like, you know, look at their shoes sadly, like, and then they hear, like, the door opening.
Right.
And they look over, and then, like, little girl had, like, pushed the button. And she, like, and then she says, she's like, "They're alive, just like me." And then everybody looks at her confused. And then the dinosaurs then, you know, stampede out of there because they choose life. And then we see financial advisor dude who has his like briefcase that has the DNA of
hyperviral sperm.
Yeah, the hyperviral sperm of the super dinosaur. And he's like, I can't believe it. I made it. Oh, man, what are the chances? And then, like, as he's, like, finishing that thought, he, like, turns around, and then just dinosaurs are, like, stampeding at him.
Right.
And he, like, hides under a car and everything, and he just assumes he's going to eat it. But, you know, all the dinosaurs pass him by. And, again, he's like, oh, my God, I'm alive. Hooray! I live another day to scam old people and sell dinosaurs. And then a T-Rex comes by and just starts eating them.
Yep.
And that's the movie.
God damn.
I don't even remember if there... I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of pretty bow tie, like, wrap-up ending. But I don't remember it, and I don't care. And that's this fucking movie.
Dude, this movie sucked.
This movie sucks so bad. Even if, honestly, like, I mean, you know, it's been a week since we watched this, so that at least has to play some part into our grogginess of recalling the plot. But I really don't think we would have been able to do much better having just seen it.
No, like...
It's just so devoid of anything interesting.
Moonfall got rough to watch.
Yeah.
This movie was not necessarily rough to get through. I got through it all right.
Uh-huh.
But it is exhausting to talk about it in a way that
sure.
Moonfall wasn't.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I would kind of share that sentiment that, like, while I think this is a bad movie, I think this is a much better watch than Moonfall was. But recalling it is much more taxing.
I just don't want to talk it. It just sucks.
Yeah, no, it sucks.
My main thing about this movie
Uh-huh.
is that if you could chop the movie into like 10 to 15 5 to 10 minute chunks, it seems like 20 or so writers went into separate rooms and they were given the instructions like,
all right, you're writing minute 5 through 10.
like they were like, write a tense scene, like write like your vision of like a climactic tense action moment. And like one dude came back and he was like, I have here a volcano erupts while a dinosaur chases people. And then like the next person came in and they were like, I have a car plummets into water and people almost drown. And like, all right, that's good, that's good. And the next one's like, they're in a T-Rex cage and the T-Rex wakes up and they're locked in the cage, so they have to find a way out. And they're like, that's a good one, that's a good one. And they're like, I have that Velociraptor is going through. It's almost like they did like 5 to 10 minute chunks of like, all right, try to figure out a way to ramp up action tension as much as possible and then pay it off. And we'll do that 10 to 15 disconnected times throughout the film. And the music score will imply that each moment is just as tense as before. And we think that the audience ought to feel investment or fear for the characters at all, even though this cycle repeats itself once every 5 to 10 minutes. And it's just like, dude, after a while, I'm just like, all of these, what are supposed to be really high-tension dramatic scenes, lose all of their impact because it's one after another.
Yeah.
And they're also... none of them feel threatening, ever. It just doesn't feel like...
Yeah, like, I wonder, like... I don't know. It's never really that great to have, like, a giant secondary cast list. But, like, I wonder if, like, that could have been remedied at all by, like, having more than 4 like mainline characters, and like, you know, they could be like the most shallow characters, but like have them like have a name like, oh yeah, this I'm here to help out and do this and that, and like have them die in these action sequences, so that way there's like actually some stakes there, you know.
Could be.
I will say, like, the one thing I didn't mention it when we were doing the plot recap because it was stupid, is that like right before they managed to get on the boat, through one way or another, there is like a point where like computer dude is like about to eat it, and Chris Pratt has to like go back and save him, and I don't remember the circumstances exactly. I do remember it was them just like trying to escape the explosion and stampeding dinosaurs as they like get on the truck that drives onto the boat. But
Right.
yeah, there was a point where computer dude's like, it looks like he might eat it, and I remember thinking to myself like. And not because I hated the character, which the character did suck, but but like I remember thinking like he should have died,
Right.
you know, like that would have at least, you know, made it seem like there were some stakes here.
Dude, I don't think that it's a problem that could have been remedied by like increased stakes, though.
Yeah.
Like I think the people writing this film were under the impression that every scene has to be an action scene, and there
Yeah.
can be no character building scenes where like not much is going on, but you learn something. But like a dialogue heavy, like you learn something about two characters kind of scene, and like they had like 2 minutes of one in a bar where Chris Pratt was building a cabin, and BDH is like, oh, you left me to build your cabin, and he's like, you left me because you wouldn't come with me and live a life in a cabin.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Like, after that, they're just like, all right, now we just need action scene after action. Like, bad, really poorly written action scene after action scene that doesn't feel exciting at all. Some of the most boring action scenes I've ever seen in my life. And, like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure with this writer's room and these characters, if they tried to do any scenes where, like, you know, let's say Chris Pratt and BDH, like, talked about feelings for, like, 5 minutes, I would have walked away from that scene going, God, that was a terrible fucking scene. Yeah. Maybe less of that. So I'm not sure they really could have done much better, even if they did put more appropriate character building scenes in the movie. But one of the main things I take away from the film is that it's this frenetic, like, a series of short action films compacted around one, like, dinosaur theme. And all of them are bad and boring, and it just makes me want to blech. Awful.
Yeah, no, it's pretty awful. And I think really, like you say, like, kind of the most egregious part of it is, like, all the action scenes are, like, just so not good, you know? Like, I don't know. It's like in the same way that you watch, like, a shark movie and you expect to see a lot of shark deaths, and, like, that's really why you're watching the shark movie for the most part, you know? Like,
yes.
At least for me, that's like...
No, obviously. That's why we all watch Shark Week.
When I go see the movie 47 Meters Down, I'm like... I'm watching it because the promotion makes me think that a lot of people are going to get mauled by sharks.
Yeah, right.
Not because I think that the story is compelling.
Right.
And, like, for me at least...
And that was... When I saw Shark Tale... That was the most disappointing watch of my life. There was not a single shark mauling in that movie.
Yeah, I mean,
I was so pissed.
They just talk about it, but nothing. Well, see, so honestly, though, here's the thing, though. It's like, it's just so much implied stuff like that. Like, there are so many scenes, like, where, like, just the most, like, PG-rated deaths and stuff.
Yeah,
which,
well,
like,
yeah,
I understand
yeah.
it's a PG-rated, or, like, PG-13 movie or whatever the hell it's actually rated.
Right.
But, like, you know, it's just like, again, in the first Jurassic Park, we get to watch a dinosaur, like, tear a guy in half. Like,
yeah, it's a movie about dinosaurs running rampant, and it's not a violent film.
Yeah.
Like, how's that work?
Yeah, like, the one thing that could have at least kept my attention with this crap is just so devoid of it.
Yeah. All the scenes seem to imply that there could be danger, but none of it feels like there's ever any danger.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, you ready to read some reviews?
Let's do it!
All right. Let me pull up mine here. All right, this review is from a user by the name of RB007. And it reads, or I should state this is a 5-star review, so this person felt very positively of the movie. And it reads, "Say the critics to go to hell. This film's just like a Zack Snyder's movie. Someone likes the story or not doesn't matter. You get experience watching it. This film's an experience-based movie, but you get experience only when you'll watch it on a big screen. No one can enjoy this type of film on phone. You need a laptop, a PC, or the best smart TV. Netflix has it. Watching it on Netflix in smart TV is an experience. I liked the story of this film, but the best thing about this film is its suspense. Now the spoilers begin. From the beginning, it keeps us in full suspense. Within 2 minutes, we start thinking, will he be able to grab the helicopter and escape that T-Rex? Then comes a controversial topic. Should they save the dinosaur or not? I am with Ian Malcolm. They shouldn't have. But all thanks to Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt, we're going to see its third part. And another scene, like when Chris Pratt and Brian Dallas go to the T-Rex to get his blood to save Blue. The another best thing about this film is its VFX. It's a visual masterpiece. I think 80% VFX needed in the scene where all dinosaurs were running away from the volcano on the island. Man, no one can enjoy that scene on a screen of a phone. This movie also shows how greedy a human can be because some animals are endangered and you are making some dangerous hybrids from them and illegally selling it to some billionaires. The Indorex scenes were suspenseful and fabulous. The fighting sequences between Blue and Indorex were cool. And another controversial thing comes why the 7 hells she released the T-Rex. Okay? But it's not perfect. There are many flaws in the film, like how they created hybrid dinosaurs with one night. And due to its PG-13, when dinosaurs eating the humans, we can't feel the impact we should have felt. And everything happens too fast in the film. But on the other hand, I would have also like they say, to as it is super fast movie. We don't like to feel bored, or I was too engaged watching it. That I didn't feel time has passed. My final rating for this movie is an 8 out of 10, or a 4.2 out of 5. 4 people found this helpful. And I know that was an interesting read, and I chose that review because listening to me read that review is about like what it feels like to watch this movie.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. And that's my watching Jurassic Park or Jurassic World 2 simulation. How about your review, Mike?
I guess I'll do my 5-star. This 5-star comes from Shivesh Reddy Dundumala. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Oh my god.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. All right. There is no reason that this is a bad movie. It shows the relationship between man and animals, and it's showing that we shouldn't mess around with nature through dinosaurs or anything. Jurassic Park is one of the world's most loved franchises. It might be the best franchise ending next to Endgame I've ever seen. It reminds me of the book Animal Farm, where what they didn't want to happen ends up happening.
That usually makes for a pretty compelling movie.
I
didn't want this to happen.
No, it ended up happening. It also treats Jurassic World like a different franchise with the same plot, using different characters and showing new enemies and climaxes. And if I'm going to be honest here, they made over $1 billion. That's almost as much as Endgame. You might say it's Chris Pratt's best work.
That is so fucking funny.
So this review boiled down to, it's like Animal Farm. Look at the box office.
And if I'm being honest, this movie made $1 billion.
Oh god! I just love it. It's like Animal Farm, because
I really like specifically the part where they say like, it's like the old movies, but the same plot with different characters. It's like
and new climaxes.
Yep, that's what a reboot usually is. Yeah.
Oh god damn it!
Yeah, no, this movie was a drag. But I still had fun. I had fun watching it because it was fun to watch with you and Rose and make some jokes.
Yeah.
As many of these bad movies go, that's the highlight of the experience.
I still want to do a watch along.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's something I very much want to look into us setting up. To the few people who listen to this, if you're at all interested in doing a watch along, we're considering maybe Twitch or something like that, where we can live stream us watching the movie. Or
I hadn't thought about that.
That was my thought. Maybe we could do it some other way.
Yeah.
But we can live watch the movie, and you can watch the movie at your own home, and essentially hear us joke around as we watch it. So that might be something we do in the future. I think the logistics of that are something we're gonna have to work out, but we'll get there. But with that, this movie is without a doubt not a good movie. And plain and simple, this gets a big fat out of And yeah, I will not be seeing the third movie.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I didn't have plans to watch the third movie. I feel like I've almost been 180 though, in that I kind of want to watch the third movie now,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Anyway, this movie,
Uh-huh.
it just gets. Out of. And I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, like really, this movie just isn't even worth going into why we chose those ratings.
No.
And with that, there's nothing left to be said.
Yeah.
We're gonna go watch a better movie now, and I hope that you also do the same. So, go ahead, scroll through a trusted friend's letterbox, find a highly rated movie, and put that on instead of Jurassic Park.
No, Jurassic World. Oh
excuse
my
me.
God, watch
Yeah.
Jurassic Park any day.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. Better yet, just go watch Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to see some dinosaurs, just go watch Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Do do boo do do.